Oh wait, do I just try now?
Okay, this is one. Okay, we're in the stream now.
Oh.
Okay. This time Hungary. I don't think any of us are going to the Grand Prix, but I can still make some interesting predictions. And
Yes.
compared to the last time, we had we had a little driver change in the AlphaTauri team. Talked about it in our reactions. Yeah, Daniel Ricciardo is back in AlphaTauri, so yeah, I added him into the spreadsheet so you can pick him if you think he's gonna get into one of the categories. Obviously, I think we should start. I don't think that we should really talk about anything else unless you want to talk about something.
I was just going to say, maybe people should check out our new project.
Yeah, MCC Central. I'm gonna promote it a bit later on the stream. I think tomorrow or like in the next few days. You already promoted it on your channel, so it's
well, a bit more on my channel hopefully at some point. But...
Yep.
Yeah, well, I just thought to mention it at the start.
Yeah, obviously, we're gonna have
its significance.
We're gonna have the first recording this Saturday as well, so hopefully it goes well. I'm still not really sure how it's gonna go because
I could be there yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, I don't remember the studio being like finished yet. Like we did a huge chunk of it. I don't know if you like finished it.
The what you record?
Oh, it's probably gonna be built by the time we're gonna stream anyway. So record. Okay. Since you started last time, I think I'm gonna start this time.
That makes sense.
Okay. Pole position for Hungarian Grand Prix. Yeah, not surprise. I still wanna pick Max Verstappen. I don't think it needs any explanation for this one. It's just he's on pole every race. He wins every race. Just how it goes.
Yeah. Makes sense. You know what? I just got to agree. It's not difficult, is it?
Yeah.
He just wins currently, and it's annoying, but we'll accept it.
Yeah. Well, every domination has to end some once. So
yeah, eventually.
Yeah. Hopefully, hopefully it's sooner than later. Maybe next season. Hopefully, I don't know.
Daniel Ricciardo's alongside him.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Yes. Okay, for front row. Now it gets interesting because it's not Verstappen this time, and yeah,
it's pretty much the race for P2 this season. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw the forecast. It's gonna be a wet Saturday as well. Again, that's at least meant to be, but
Ooh.
This time I kind of don't believe Mercedes anymore because they were supposed to be good at the last two tracks and there was nowhere. I mean, they were good in race pace, but it's just in qualifying, they don't really have the raw pace to even the McLarens jumped up the order as well. So I don't think it's going to be Mercedes on the front row. So I actually picked Charles Leclerc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like Ferrari's gonna do well at this track for some reason. I just have the feeling, and if I picked Sainz last time, and now I'm picking Charles.
I'm going to make a shock prediction for mine.
Okay.
A big shock prediction, because I think it is going to be Perez in P2.
Okay, that
alongside Verstappen. I think he's going to finally break it.
was actually pretty bold because he didn't make a Q3 like the last 5 qualies.
Yeah, he's not been doing well. I just think it has to end at some point, right? He's got the Ricardo shadow looming behind him. Yeah. I think now he's got to start performing. So, yeah, I'm a big believer that it's going to be Perez, Verstappen, P1, P2. I think eventually it's going to end it for him, and it's a tight track. He usually performs better on those types of tracks, where it's tight corners. Reminds me a lot of a street circuit.
Yeah.
You have runoffs. That's pretty much the only difference. So I think it'd be good for Perez little drive. So
I mean,
even in the wet weather,
yeah, he out-qualified Verstappen last year. I think it was like Max had some kind of mechanical problem like towards the end of Q3, so he didn't like set a representative lap time, and Perez started like
the race.
Yeah, Perez started like three positions ahead of him, and Max still won the race by quite a margin as well.
He spun like 3 times as well.
Literally spun out of the lead to. It was the clip that he spun out to check on the Ferrari behind him, and it just overtake him next time. So. Yeah. Hopefully, Leclerc is gonna not get hearts this time. It was Ferrari's strategy last year was just horrible.
Yes, yeah. That doesn't sound like Ferrari nowadays, does it? At all.
No.
They wouldn't do that again. Totally not.
I mean, you can never be confident in a Ferrari. Every time
you cannot.
Yeah, every time you feel like Ferrari's gonna actually do something correctly, you just screw up even more.
It's a Ferrari.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, for my P3 in quali, since it's a pretty tidy, slow corner speed track with not a lot of straights, I'm picking someone who hasn't been in the top 3 in quali for quite a long time now. I'm picking Fernando Alonso for P3.
Ooh.
I think this track will suit Aston Martin a lot more. I just don't think they're gonna top the Ferraris or the Red Bull, and I think like Verstappen is gonna get first. Just no question. But yeah, for the second best team, I think they're gonna be up there with the Ferraris, maybe the McLarens as well. So yeah, that's my pick.
Well, again, I'm gonna go risky.
Okay, I like it
because you've already mentioned this team, but you mentioned them negatively. I think this track suits the Mercedes, and it has for several seasons. But I'm going for Russell because last year he obviously put it on pole here. Obviously there's a big change to the car, several big changes to the car. True. But they have said they think the wing will suit this race a lot more. They were a lot quicker in the slow speed corners at Silverstone than anyone but the Red Bull. Looking at stats, they were the quickest apart from the Red Bull, but they were a lot quicker on the slow speed corners of like of Sector 1. A lot of Hungary's difficult, right? Because they're sort of slow speed, sort of high speed. Not really too high though. Let's be honest. They're not. You're not going around there at full throttle at all on any of those corners.
Yeah, there are not a lot of parts when you just go for full throttle. It's just a lot of twisty corners, as left and right, just everywhere. Not even, yeah. Okay, continue.
I was going to say, so I'm just going to have to give it Russell again. I think it could be between him and Hamilton. We'll see where I put Hamilton. A little spoiler, it is in the top 5. But
okay.
Yeah, I think Russell will do well.
Okay. Finally, we're different on the predictions.
We're very different today, yeah.
I mean, Verstappen P1 is gonna be there for the rest of the season.
Well, you know, we're not taking the L there.
Yeah.
Imagine if we gave up a point to the other person on Verstappen P1. That would not be.
Yeah, both of us are gonna take the 3 points. I think. Okay. P4. I'm actually deciding right now who to pick, because before this I thought about my predictions, but I didn't really set up write them down before the stream. So picking them like from my head, and I'm actually, I don't know, it's difficult. I'm actually gonna pick Lando Norris for P4. I'm gonna pick 4 different teams in the top 4.
Oh my god. You're going for a risky strat.
Yeah, I don't think McLaren's gonna struggle this track too much. They're not gonna be as dominant compared to the rest, like behind Red Bull. This was like Red Bull, a huge gap to McLaren and a pretty significant gap to Mercedes like last time. But I think this time is gonna be pretty close between the teams behind the Red Bull, obviously. And yeah, Norris is just in a great form right now.
He is. He's in pretty good form. I do think that McLaren's not going to be quick around this track. I hate to say it.
I mean,
that's my point of view.
Well, you never know, because yeah. I mean, who expected a McLaren second and third in Silverstone?
Well, it's also good that we have different opinions. It's the main thing.
I agree. Yep.
Because, well, I'm going in opinion on your way. I think Leclerc's going to be the fastest Ferrari here, and I think he's going to get a sneaky P4. I do think it's going to be sneaky. I don't think they're going to be that quick around this weekend. They are quick on qualifying form though, that Ferrari. I do think they're going to be behind the Mercedes. We'll get into why my we all know my P5 pick.
Yeah.
But we'll get into why I think that's going to happen. But so I think Leclerc's just going to sneak in P4 because of that reason. We'll get to. So I sort of got to do. I'm going to wait till P5 to explain. Basically.
Okay, so you're thinking like Mercedes has a quite significant advantage over the rest of the field, like apart from Red Bull.
Not significant, but like I think they'll be the quickest this track apart from Red Bull.
Okay, so like similar to McLaren last race.
I think definitely in the race as well because Ferrari suck in the race.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, like McLaren last week. That's my thinking.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna finish the qualifying because you kind of spoiled your P5. I'm excited for my P5. I'm actually gonna pick the same as you. I'm gonna pick Hamilton there as well. So
okay.
I know. I said I don't really think Mercedes are gonna be too quick this weekend, but just Hamilton on this track is something different. Just won here like 8 times. It's just insane. I mean.
He is just unstoppable.
Even last year, like Russell qualified on the front row, and Hamilton still overtook him in the race. It was just he was like on a different level last year as well.
Oh, it was such a good race, yeah. From Hamilton and Verstappen. I think Hamilton went underplayed because Verstappen obviously went from like P10 or 11 to
P10. Yeah, it was P10.
Yeah, P10. I was correct. I didn't need to doubt myself. 2 P1, but. Yeah, I think Hamilton did really well. Ended up getting in P3 in the end of the race, despite, I think he was he 7th? I'm trying to remember a year ago, which is not a good thing for my old brain.
Yeah, it was like around the 7th place, I think. It was like
so he's really good on this track.
Yep.
I agree with you, obviously. We've agreed with each other here.
Yeah.
But the reason I think he's going to be 5th, he's not done great in quali last few races. I think he's sort of ailing on quali a bit, Hamilton, recently. I think Silverstone, a few mistakes like that. I think he could have been maybe above the Ferraris, to be honest, in Silverstone qualifying.
Yeah.
But I remember, because we all know I was at, I forgot the name right now, which is not good.
Silverstone?
Yeah, well, the corner I was at.
Oh, it was like before the cops corner, so it's like.
Oh yeah, it was cops. Yeah. you could see him going around Cops. Wasn't looking good. Well, he made a mistake into Cops. Looked like he lost a lot of time there. I think the pressure of that final thing is getting to him. But I think he's going to be amazing in the race still. But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. I mean, the race predictions are going to be different than the last time, I think. Like, we're going to change up the order a bit, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's our quality predictions. For the race, I still deciding if I'm putting Verstappen P1 or not. He wants.
Are you taking the risk?
I mean, who didn't you take the risk on any other track like, apart from this? This is the one track like for the next like 5 races up until like Singapore. I think this track is the only track I think that realistically Verstappen could like get not first. I mean, like something may happen to him, or he just I don't know, like maybe he gets overtaken in the race, or like if there's like a team that's actually close to Red Bull in terms of race pace. Like I know last time McLaren wasn't really close, but I think this track will suit Red Bull less. Like, that's just my opinion. I think Verstappen is still gonna be fastest out there, but maybe there's gonna be like one driver that's able to actually match Verstappen's pace and maybe overtake him into turn 1 and then proceed to actually win the race. And my driver is Fernando Alonso. And
oh my god,
I'm actually going with this. I thought about this a lot because whenever Aston Martin was like talking where they are strong, they're strong in the slow corners, slow speed tracks. Like they were able to get pole position in Monaco, and like if it wasn't for the Verstappen insane third sector, like every time there's a low speed corners like base track, the Astons are really strong, and I feel like this track will suit them more. I really think my quality predictions like Verstappen, Leclerc, and Alonso, I think they're all gonna be like within a 10th of a second within each other as well. So yeah, I'm betting on Alonso getting an insane start and overtaking both of them into turn 1, and he's gonna actually be on pretty strong pace and able to hold up Verstappen for the win. Well, unless Verstappen is getting maybe some kind of mechanical problem as well. Like, you never know, it can happen. Like, no car is like bulletproof in terms of reliability. So
yeah.
If there's a race where Verstappen doesn't win, in my predictions, it's this one. I just feel like it this time. Yeah, that's my like my attempt on explaining my reason, because it's pretty bold. I know. I think you're not gonna be as bold as me. I feel like.
Well, I was going to say, have you seen that if Verstappen comes P2 in the rest of the races, he still wins?
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy. That is insane.
He doesn't have to win a race to win the championship. Like, that's pretty crazy, you know.
I can't lie. I'm going for Verstappen. This track's notoriously hard to overtake on. I think that car's just too OP. I don't think it breaks down because how long we haven't had an engine system change.
I mean, Red Bulls have pretty worn out power units. Like, they're gonna take the penalties later in the season as well, because like there are a lot of teams who are like on their last power unit like components like allowed before the penalties, and I think Red Bull is like one of the worst teams in terms of those numbers. So maybe in the future races they get some grid penalties. Like if Perez qualifies, like I don't know, if in Monza Perez like spins out and qualifies in P18, he just gets a new engine or something.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. But hey, you have brought up the interesting point of view of Aston Martin quick and slow corners. I just can't not think about Red Bull, unfortunately. So it's gonna have to be them in first for me. Yeah, pretty simply.
Yeah, it's pretty simple and pretty fair. I mean, I would take the 3 points like in on a normal circumstance, but this time I want to go a bit bold. And I
want to beat you.
If Alonso wins the race, like my prediction is gonna be like godlike.
Well, this is pretty much your extra bold prediction already. Verstappen not winning.
I mean, the extra bold prediction is like extra, like apart from all of those. So I cannot like pick. I cannot like pick. Yeah, I cannot pick like Alonso pole position for the extra bold predictions. I have to pick something else. Yeah. That's for P1, mine actually. Yeah, P2. I don't think that's. I don't think it's gonna get any lower. I think it's Verstappen in P2 because
okay.
As I said in my predictions, I think Alonso and Verstappen are gonna battle for the most of the Grand Prix. Maybe Verstappen tries some kind of undercut on Alonso, and it's gonna be like a tight battle out of the pits. Maybe I don't know. I just feel like those two are gonna battle it for the win on this track, and hopefully it's Alonso on top. Because yeah, Verstappen winning 7 in a row is just just crazy boring.
It's Verstappen we're talking about.
I know. I'm just. I need something else. I watched 6 Verstappen wins in a row. I just can't handle anymore.
Wow. Here's my random prediction, right?
Okay.
I reckon George Russell and Perez are going to crash at the start.
Oh.
So I'm going to go for a cheeky P3 or P2 for Hamilton. I think he's going to come through, beat Leclerc. Probably off the start line. He's getting really good starts recently, apart from Silverstone.
Yeah.
I think he's a pretty safe pick there. I don't think it's going to be a major crash, by the way, which we'll get to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be enough of a crash that they both are out of the way.
I mean, if technically if it rains like before the start, maybe we get another bowling type of race like in 2021. I mean, Bottas is not going to start too far ahead this time. I think the Alfa Romeo is just
sadly not.
But maybe if another driver like decides to not brake for a corner, like Lance Stroll, for example, or maybe one of the Ferraris, I don't know. It could happen. Yeah, Perez and Russell also crashing into each other is like pretty likely out of all of the drivers, because those two have
seem to do it quite.
Yeah, those two have history with each other on track. I agree. Hamilton is a pretty safe pick on your side.
I think the Mercedes are quickest this weekend, apart from obviously the super-powered Red Bull.
Yeah, super-powered Red Bull for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Okay, my final podium slot, and I cannot help myself. I cannot just put Ferrari there. I also can't put Mercedes there. I just feel like Mercedes are not gonna be on the podium this weekend. That's where our opinions differ, because I think it's gonna be Norris on the podium in P3.
We're gonna see. Oh.
Yeah, McLaren.
Our opinion's majorly different because I just think that McLaren's only so in it's great.
Yeah, I like this actually quite a lot, because if someone like there's a lot of opportunities to like get points on the other one, because it's pretty close. Like 5-4 is like there's not a 1 point is not a lot of difference between our points so far. So yeah, Norris for P3. I think McLaren is gonna be alright this weekend. I don't think that's gonna be the fastest behind the Red Bulls, but I think they're gonna be like within a couple times I think like Norris is gonna be up there nonetheless. Like McLaren is not gonna struggle as much as people think. Like that's my opinion, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be really quick, but they're gonna be up there. Like Norris is also pretty good at this track. Like he was pretty close to like being P2 up until the Bottas bowling in 2021 as well. He got an insane start in the wet. If it wasn't like for Bottas like crashing into him, then Norris crashed into Perez and like Verstappen and everyone. It was just carnage. Yeah, I think Norris is pretty good at this track, so yeah, that's my pick.
Okay, I like it. Okay, Norris. Pretty solid pick, but I still can't get... This one's the most difficult thing for me here, right?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out just how quick I think it is, the Mercedes. It's not great on a straight, so I don't think Mercedes are really going to overtake apart from the start. I can't really have Russell here because I think he's going to have to hit lap 1. I do still think he's going to get a good position though.
Yeah.
Oh, you did make a compelling case for Alonso. You made a really compelling case for Alonso.
Have him in your predictions like at all in the top 5?
I think I'm not going to.
Oh,
he's probably going to sit somewhere. I'm going to go Leclerc.
Okay.
Oh no, but the Ferraris are so bad in the race. Alonso.
Dilemma.
Yeah, we'll go Alonso. You're not wrong. They are quick in slow speed corners, but I still think they're going to be a bit behind the Mercedes. I also think they're going to be about on par with the Ferraris, maybe, but considering Ferrari's strategy.
Yeah, even with Ferraris are actually leading the race, they're just not gonna like finish on the podium. Just a Ferrari strategy.
I can't lie. I'm not picking any McLarens though.
Okay.
That's not a big one.
It's pretty like I don't know if it's bold or not because like, you don't know how McLaren's gonna do this track because we only saw it.
No, obviously I want McLaren to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know, but just you cannot really judge how the McLaren is going to perform on other types of track other than high speed. As we saw in Austria, like the Austrian track was like pretty based on straights and slow corners. Like I know that third sector is like high speed, but McLaren was still like faster than Mercedes and Aston's. Maybe it's just not the track specific. Maybe McLaren is actually like competitive on every type of track. Well, we're gonna see this weekend.
We'll see what happens. Yeah. It's going to be a big weekend for McLaren to prove they can do every track at this speed. But they weren't overwhelmingly good in Austria, right? And that had the updates for Norris. Like he came a good position, but he didn't come a Silverstone good position. And I would say Hungary's even worse than Austria in terms of slow speed corners. So.
Okay, we should actually talk about what teams are bringing upgrades, because Red Bulls are actually bringing even more upgrades for this circuit. So are Aston's. I think McLaren.
That's why I had Paris high as well.
Yeah, McLaren are also bringing the final set of upgrades for both drivers. I think Piastri is gonna have the full updated car this time, hopefully. I mean, the midfield isn't really that interesting to talk about the updates of them because AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo had the most updates last weekend and they just were dead last. So, we're like, I should probably continue because, my P4 just behind the podium finisher Lando Norris. I'm making Oscar Piastri, just like in Silverstone. I think is gonna get P4. I think it's gonna get quality like in like P6 or P7. McLaren is gonna be really quick in race pace specifically. I think the McLarens are gonna be just behind the fight of Alonso and Verstappen. Like
okay. Like well, they're really quick on race pace.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to put Ferrari there. I know their strategy's awful, but I've got to put him there. Yeah. There you go. I don't really have much to say about the car. I don't think the Ferraris were terrible around Austria. I don't think they're a terrible car. They've done decently okay recently, but we'll see. We'll see, right? We'll see around this next race. They could be okay.
I really like how our only mutual predictions are Verstappen and Hamilton in qualifying so far. I mean, if one of us gets it right, like they can get a lot of points on the other one. Really like it.
Yeah.
Different opinions are pretty interesting. Okay.
We are very, very this Grand Prix. Compared to the last one, I'd say, we're slightly closer together than the last one. But this one, yeah, way crazier.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty right about the podium last time. Just
you were.
If Norris, if Hamilton could overtake Norris, like it was really close. Like if he overtook Norris, I would get 2 points more than last time. So, this time for P5, this is gonna be probably my boldest pick, I think, out of all.
Okay.
Pitting last Stroll for P5.
Oh my god.
No Mercedes, no Ferraris in the top 5.
You've gone crazy this race.
Last Stroll for P5. I really think Astons are going to be really strong this weekend. On the par with Red Bulls, maybe a bit behind them, but yeah, I really think Stroll is going to have a pretty good race as well. Stroll is kind of. Over the past few years, like he seemed pretty strong at Hungary compared to Vettel, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a better race for him, especially compared to Silverstone. Like he really needs to bounce back because these performances are even like they're getting worse and worse every race. I feel like as the Astons like drop down in the performance ranking, and Stroll is just following it to the midfield even more. Like last time he got like P9 and after the penalty, because that was a pretty stupid crash with Gasly. I don't understand like what did Stroll think there. Like there was the gap was like closing and it was obvious it's gonna be a result in a crash. So it was pretty stupid from Stroll. He just threw out the points positions, and yeah, especially when they're like when the Ferraris are like down there, McLarens are like they're quite far behind in terms of points, like in the Constructors' Championship. I think Astons should really pick up the points as much as they can until like as long as Astons can get points. I think they should earn the most they could. And yeah, I think this track will suit their car like quite a lot. And yeah, I hope both the Astons are like gonna maximize the race. I just don't think Stroll is really on Alonso's level. Like Alonso's just different level. Like the only race Stroll finished ahead of Alonso was when Alonso like refused to overtake Stroll in Spain and just waved to the crowd. So, yeah, I don't think Stroll is gonna match Alonso in raw pace, but yeah, the Aston Martin is just gonna be too good for not Stroll to not be in like top 5. So yeah, that's my. I don't know which is bolder, Stroll P5 or Alonso P1 at this point. I picked a lot of bold picks.
You have, and well, my final. Bear in mind what I said earlier. I think my final pick is also bold. I think Russell's going to come P5, despite the crash that I foresee happening.
Okay.
He's going to come out best of that crash.
That's fair. Do you think is Russell or Perez going to be more at fault for a crash?
I don't think anyone's going to get in trouble for it. It will go down as a racing incident, but it will be Russell's fault.
Okay, because I mean, there's a lot of like pressure on Checo, because if he has a crash this weekend, like especially with Daniel just knocking on the door, so yeah, Perez really needs to step up and have a clean weekend on the podium, to like make sure his seat is safe for next year. Because I know Horner said that Perez is like safe for next year, but you never know with Red Bull. If Perez doesn't get on the podium in the next 5 races, they might as well put Ricciardo in for the next like 5 races, because they would win the Constructors' Championship at this point. So,
Depends how well he does, but
yeah, Red Bull is just too dominant to allow like Perez to. I mean, yeah, they can. Perez can afford these. I mean, Red Bull can afford Perez being this slow, just because they're dominant and Verstappen's winning every race. But whenever the other teams catch up, and they're catching up pretty quickly, like the Red Bulls had pretty like twice as big of an advantage, I would say, at the start of the season. And if
they're bringing update now, and they're major updates.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about their updates. Like, if the Red Bull is gonna be like half a second ahead of everyone this weekend, I'm just giving up on this season like completely. I'm just gonna like put Verstappen in P1 every race. I'm just giving myself a bit of hope here. Just really hope for an exciting race, and finally another Verstappen win. Yeah, I'm probably too high on copium, but I just really hope it's gonna happen. Okay, that was
I also hope that, but I just don't think it's going to.
That's fair. Yeah, if it wasn't for this try, I would probably pick for 7P1 like every time. Yeah, maybe in Singapore, maybe Singapore, I'm just gonna pick the cheeky Aston in P1 again. If it's another like type of Monaco weekend when Alonso is on pace to get pole positions and maybe win the race, I think I'm gonna be hopeful for Aston's coming into like Singapore and other slow speed tracks. Okay, that was a pretty long talk about P5. Okay, for my most impressive driver, yeah, I don't think this is any like bold, because when it comes to my predictions, I think Alonso's gonna win the race. So yeah, it's obvious it's gonna be the most impressive driver. I'll already explain my reasons behind his win, so yeah, you're free to continue.
Well, this is a difficult one for me, right? I've got a really rogue one in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 rogue ones, right? I'll say my first. Daniel Ricciardo.
Okay.
Is a shout, right? If he gets top 10 in that car, I'd say it's a pretty impressive drive, right?
Yeah.
That car's awful. My other one, he's just staring out to me for some reason. I really think Albon could do another good job this weekend. Williams
on a low speed track. That's
the risk. I'm gonna go Ricciardo. You know what? It's clickbait maybe, but
okay.
I'm gonna say Ricciardo. I think he'll get 9th, and I think that's an impressive drive compared to anyone else.
I mean, 9th from AlphaTauri, considering they're like 5 top teams right now. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, if Ricciardo gets 9th on his debut in the season, that's I don't know if I should give like double the points if that happens, but yeah, we're gonna stick the normal circumstances.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Can I skip one?
I'll skip the least impressive driver. You want to skip?
Well, I wasn't going to say skip it. I was going to say I think my most impressive team will also be the AlphaTauri.
Oh, so okay, we can jump to most impressive team.
I'm just going to put it out there in the world. I mean, it's not really impressive. Let's be fair. And maybe I should put Mercedes because I think they're going to be decent on this track. But I just think that they'll get a solid, like, good position this race. I think they're going to get like 8th, 9th, 10th, and given how bad they've been, I think that's a shout for how good that car is.
Yeah, you're picking the slowest car right now to get points, so I mean that's pretty bold.
Yeah, definitely.
It's maybe bolder than my Aston predictions at this point.
See, I've done the opposite of you here. I've gone which car's slowest in getting up. But you did the bold prediction in the race. I did the bold prediction in the most impressive section.
Okay. My most impressive team, this also comes as no surprise. I'm gonna pick the Astons.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
I think they're gonna be the second fastest team this weekend.
P1 and P5. Oof, that'd be craziness.
Yeah, in McLaren, like P3 and P4.
Yeah, they're very decent.
I think McLaren's are gonna get there because of their superior race pace. Like even in race pace like at Silverstone, they were able to hold off faster cars, like on other cars on faster tires behind them on hards. So
I don't think they're gonna get overtaken, but I don't think they're gonna qualify very well.
Fair. Okay, do you want to go to the least impressive driver or team?
Let's do drivers first. Now, this is a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
I'm staring at it and going, who could I pick? Because obviously there's obvious ones like Sargent.
Yeah, I mean, Sargent had a pretty good race last weekend. It was like P11 at the end.
Yeah, he was alright. But I want to make like bold predictions. I don't think Sargent's that bad. I think because that that car used to have a certain other driver in, I think people give Sargent a hard time. Also, he skipped a bunch. He didn't do great in F2, but
I can't really know. I can't really know like how good that the Williams car is, because Albon, since he returned to Williams, like he was up against the Latifi, and now he's up against the rookie. So you can't really know like where the Williams sits like in the pecking order. Maybe the car is really good, but we just don't know because both are like underperforming. But like the opposite can be.
I doubt Albon's underperforming.
Like, I mean, you can't really like be sure.
We don't really. Yeah, we'll never know if like the Alpine or the Alpha or the Williams or the Haas are underperforming. We just can sort of take it from context clues, can't we?
True. Well, we can agree on AlphaTauri being the slowest car, I think.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty fair.
I'm gonna risk it. Oh, no. I'm gonna go Lance Stroll.
Okay, it's pretty bold compared to my predictions.
That's the wrong thought. Yeah, that is bold compared to your predictions. It's because I think Alonso will come that decently third place. I don't think you bless me. Like last weekend, I don't think Stroll's going to end up in the top 10. Yeah, he's not really done that well recently.
Yeah, I'm sorry for like interrupting you. I just want to.
Oh, don't worry.
When I think about Alonso being on the podium in your predictions, I think Stroll being out of the points is like the least impressive. It could be like if the Astons have genuine pace this weekend, Stroll is not scoring points. I could like give the points to Stroll. Like,
doesn't matter though because he'll still keep his drive.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, we're not gonna see two good drivers at Aston anytime soon.
No, not at all.
Okay. For my least impressive driver, I don't think you actually realize like who didn't I pick for both quali and race, like in terms of top cars. And
no, I saw.
it
was one that I was thinking about. Okay. No, I didn't. No.
I think you thought about Russell or Sainz, but yeah, I think Perez is gonna have another horrible weekend for him, like out in Q2 or Q1 and barely scraping into the points. Like if
on a race that's really difficult to overtake on.
If the Red Bull is not getting into the top 6, I think that's pretty not impressive. Even the last weekend, like Perez was one of the least impressive drivers out there. I don't care, he made up like 10 positions from his starting position. Like when he's overtaking like Williamses and Alfa Romeos, like that's not impressive for a Red Bull driver. I think if a Red Bull driver is not in top 5, I think that's like worse than Mercedes not being in the top 10, for example.
Yeah, I agree.
Like if Perez is not in the top 5 this weekend, I think that's pretty not impressive. I think actually he's gonna have
especially with the upgrades.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have even a worse race like than Silverstone. I think he's not gonna be in top 6 as well. Maybe like out of top 8. I just think like Perez is really gonna struggle this weekend, especially with the changeable conditions on this track again. Yeah, that's my pick.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Least impressive team. I haven't got any of them in the top 5. So I'm gonna have to go for them. I will go McLaren.
Okay.
Just based off last weekend, right? And you've hyped them up a bit as we've been talking.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go for them. I think they'll not do that well this weekend. As I said, I think the straight line. I still think they'll get a decent points, but I think compared to last weekend, I think people are going to be a little disappointed, including yourself, apparently, at how they perform. I think they might end up getting. It's not really that long of a straight is the issue, so I don't think they'll get that many overtakes.
It's like a few hundred meters. Like I could at a grandstand when I was in like Hungary last year, I could see barely the turn 1, and I could really see the last corner like pretty well. I think the straight is pretty small. I think it's even smaller than some people think. McLaren are like the strengths of the McLaren are definitely in the high-speed corners and straights. So if this track doesn't suit McLaren, yeah, I mean, what do you think McLaren, like where do you think McLaren are gonna place? So you're putting like what is the least impressive about them?
I just think it's in terms of the low speed cornering isn't going to be that great.
I mean,
I think it's a good car, and I think a lot of the other races they'll do. I think they'll do incredibly at Italy again, incredibly at Spa, but I think this race isn't going to suit them.
Okay, where do you think they're gonna finish? Because when you're picking the least impressive team, like what positions are the least impressive, like for McLaren this time? There, like I need to decide on which positions would be like actually least impressive.
Where am I putting them? I would say 7th and 8th.
Okay.
I know it's not too big of a fall, but I think based off last weekend, when they're the second quickest car, to go into this weekend and not be that, to sort of fall off the pace. I think they're going to be behind as well, behind like the top 3 cars. So
I don't know, like for McLaren to be in P7 and P8 is still. I mean, I couldn't really think like that being like the least impressive, like for a team that finished like P17 for the opening like 5 races, so on.
Okay.
I don't know if I would be able to give you points for McLaren finishing in P6 and P7 and calling that least impressive. I mean, if one of the McLarens like finishes like P8 and the other one finishes like out of the points, then you get a point. Where P6 and P7 or P7 and P8, just when you consider like there are 5 teams like able to fight for the top positions, and maybe even Alpine sometimes. Like it's really hard to like get into the top 10 itself with 6 teams like being pretty similar to each other. I know Red Bull is like far ahead, but when you exclude the Red Bulls, like there are 10 positions, there are 8 positions behind them in the top 10, and you have Mercedes, Astons, Ferraris, McLarens, and sometimes Alpines when they like have a good weekend. Like 8 positions for 10 drivers, and if McLaren, even McLaren like plays above like 4 of them, like I suppose in their predictions they're placing above like in the race maybe Perez, Stroll, and Sainz. I don't think that's the least impressive.
I think Sainz and Stroll are the only one. Not Sainz, sorry. I think Sainz will be above them. I think Stroll and Perez, who I predicted will not be in a good position at all, will be the ones that are late. But otherwise, I really think I honestly I'm going to keep it there. I think they'll get fine positions, but I just think they're going to be very disappointing compared. Obviously, I could pick teams like the least impressive team, like Haas or Alpha. I was going to maybe pick Alpha because I think they'll be quite low, and obviously Haas are probably going to not be in the back. But that just seems like an easy position to take. And you know what? You took the risky ones for the race predictions and the quality predictions. I'll take the risky ones for the least impressive and most impressive.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I mean, yeah, if your predictions like come true, like not even your predictions, like if this whole prediction comes true and McLaren gets like I don't know 0 points, but if they like get one car into points, I think that's still pretty not impressive for McLaren. But yeah,
I guess it's more compared to the last race. Everyone's been hyping them up as the second best team now, and yeah.
I'm not really buying that too much because I think like I mean
you have put them as the third best team this race, so that's all I'm saying.
Third best team because like I think Mercedes or Ferraris are gonna struggle. It's just that's like a separate prediction. I'm not picking any of them.
We have different predictions for the teams that will do well.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not picking Ferraris nor the Mercedes in the least impressive team, as I'm actually picking Williams. Yeah, I think the Williams car is based on the long straights and high-speed corners. Like when it comes to Silverstone, like that was the track that suits them like the most out of all of the calendar. Maybe like Monza and Spa could be pretty good at Williams, but I think this track will be exactly like what the Williams car is not good at, like the low speed corners. Like that was the time. Like that was the like Albon was actually like pretty close, like for the rest of the track to Verstappen, like in terms of quality. When it comes to slow speed corners, he lost like a second there compared to Verstappen. Like, it was insane. Like the Williams are really struggling in the low speed corners. And I think Albon could get into the points, but my prediction stays on the Williams not scoring points, and that's my least impressive team because Williams was really impressive last weekend. Like Albon was Albon was fighting with Ferraris and stuff, but so
it's a similar reason for me, right? But to the extreme. So I think that's a good prediction. I really can. Yeah, I think that's a really good prediction for you.
If Williams doesn't score points, that's pretty not impressive for me. Like, Rowing personally, if compared to the last weekend, they had like.
If Albon gets 1 point though.
I mean, yeah, if Albon gets a point, the prediction is not true. Like, unless the like 10 drivers DNF ahead of the Williamses.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should have picked Alpine again. Yeah.
I was actually tempted to pick Alpine, but I just went with Williams.
Yeah, no, I think your prediction on Williams is probably a very safe one. I would agree, and I'm very jealous that you picked them, and I should have.
Okay. Okay, for the extra bold predictions, since you did McLaren first, I think you should do this first as well.
Oh, I really don't know about this one. This one's really racking my head on what. Do you have one in mind, or
This is funny. I haven't thought about this, so I'm letting you go first because I have no prediction in mind.
Yeah, I've been literally looking at it the whole time we've been doing this and being like, what prediction do I have here? What can I say as a prediction? So I'm going to say, my Danny Rick, and that doesn't really count. What else could there be?
You could pick Ricardo ahead of Perez, like in the.
No. I've picked one.
Okay. You can just type in. It's already yellow, so you just put in.
Oh wait. There you go. Wrong box.
No, it's the right box. Unless you meant it off.
There you go.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my extra more prediction. I think, honestly, on the whole argument, I think it's raged on the F1 a bit too much, especially after the last race. And Clara Delevingne.
Yeah, I actually don't know who she was like before this whole drama.
My honest knowledge of Cara Delevingne is she's been in very bad films.
Okay.
Not too much her fault. I will give her that. They've just been bad. I think. Well, she's a very big racing fan, right? She's one of the only people to drive a Formula E car without a racing license. Big fan of Formula One. I think Martin Brundle's approach to the situation needs to change. I think a general consensus in the celebrity group will start going out. I will say she's also neurodivergent. So, like, people that are neurodivergent are going to be less wanting to talk to random people they don't have a close thing with. Also, apparently got told, couldn't talk to him. Martin Brundle continues to peddle the lie that it is a rule that you have to talk to him, when it isn't. It's a rule that you can't have a bodyguard. So yeah, I think there'll be more celebrities that stop Brundle this weekend. Not that there'll be many celebrities on track. I can't lie.
Okay, this prediction caught me off guard because I didn't expect such a different way predictions, because we also last time we went kind of like the race
on the race, yeah. Well, I couldn't think of anything. Right, I was thinking interchangeable interchangeable weather, but
yeah, I'm gonna accept it as the predictions. Like, if I just need confirmation, because I don't really read the Twitter drama for too much. Because if I see if you send me some kind of confirmation that this actually happened, then I'm gonna give you the point. But I just need a confirmation.
Okay,
I'm not really looking into this stuff, because whenever there's a drama and there's it's on Twitter, that Twitter is the worst place to have drama, because it's just a hellhole at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially F1 Twitter is somehow every time there's a topic that doesn't have anything to do with Max or Lewis, sometimes just their fans just come into the comments and make it somehow about Abu Dhabi 2021. I don't really understand that. It is really annoying.
Or about Silverstone 21 or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not really thinking about 2021 season in a bad way, because that season was hella interesting. It was so much racing, so much close tense moments, and it was a really, really tense style of fight. I think that season was really, really good, despite the pretty strange ending to the season. Because we can talk about Abu Dhabi 2021 on a separate stream, because it's a pretty long topic.
It's long. The whole F1 2021 season is long.
Yeah, we can sometimes make a stream when talking just simply about the 2021 season.
Sounds like a summer thing.
yeah, it was like we were pretty long stream, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, your strange prediction.
Yeah, it's still not really finalized because I didn't think about it, but
See, this is a random one that came into my head. So.
I was thinking like about some like a few scenarios, but I don't think which one to pick really. I mean, if it's bold, like when you take the account for the last, like, I mean, last 5 races, it was before Silverstone, like Verstappen led every lap, like ever since like Miami.
Yeah,
like, he overtook
I'll give you this.
Yeah, he overtook Perez like after like 47 in Miami, and then led every lap till like Charles took the lead in Austria. And yeah, I think my prediction is gonna be based around this. So I'm gonna pick like pretty bold predictions that Verstappen is not gonna lead the most of the laps for this race.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. And it goes along with the rest of your predictions. So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Because yeah, my predictions was based on Alonso leading into turn 1 and then just managing the race ahead of Verstappen. And yeah, I think this is probably like for pretty bold predictions, because when you like think about it, when was the last time Verstappen has not led most of the like the majority of the laps in a race? Like it was probably like Saudi Arabia, like not even Saudi. I think like maybe Baku. I don't remember.
Yeah, it must be.
It was like one of the races. Verstappen started like from the back, and Perez like led most of the race. So
yeah. Oh, Miami, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Miami. I mean, Alonso led like Miami for a few laps, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Perez overtook him and led for most of the race, and then just he couldn't match Verstappen's pace on old hards. It was just insane. Like Verstappen is like such an insane pace on such an old tires. I actually didn't know like if it was humanly possible to do. Like it was insane. Perez was struggling so much on the tires, and Verstappen on the other hand was like his 40 lap old hards was just putting fastest laps. I didn't know what was happening at this point. So yeah, I think this is a pretty acceptable predictions from my side.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So okay, this is a pretty wild set of predictions. Both of us went with some pretty bold picks. And I'm really excited to see how it develops, and yeah, who gets the most points from this weekend. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've done some craziness today.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad about it, because last time we went kind of safe with like most of the order being like pretty realistic. This time, especially myself, I think I went the most bold out of all of us. Like when it also combined with like Silverstone predictions. Yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I don't think there's anything more to do. I'm gonna thank you again for participating in this. Yeah, we're gonna do the reaction stream like after the Hungarian Grand Prix, whenever we are both available. Yes. Yeah, thanks everyone who watched this. And yeah, that's about it. See you next week, I would say. Well, actually, like we're gonna talk probably earlier because of the NC Central stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
That's about it for this stream. And yeah, thank you again for joining. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.